Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. All right, we got a great subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Then get a little fist bump and say howdy. All right, here we go. Selling, doing the hard stuff to be successful. What do you say? I said selling, doing the hard stuff to be successful. Well, here we go, guys. Here's the thing. Doing the hard stuff means that you're doing the things that a lot of mediocre and regular salespeople don't do. You're probably going, what is that? Well, when you get into sales, there's going to be this rah-rah. They're going to say, you can do it. You can do anything. You can sell something. And then they're going to teach you some basics, some fundamentals. And then you're going to go, damn, what do I do next? They're going to say, go sell something. But see, what happens is if you are going to want to be a great salesperson, you're going to have to do the hard stuff. What that means is you're going to have to read over all your information. You got to go ahead and study. Sometimes you got to reach out to those people that are very successful in your company and ask them, how'd you do it? I know it sounds real simple, right? But it's one of the things that's hard for a lot of people because, see, they don't want to look like, I don't know what I'm doing. And we do. We have that situation. I've had to restart over in my sales career quite a few times. And the reason why, because companies went out of business. I couldn't do a particular sales job, didn't have the time or the money to stick and stay when it was all straight commission. I had to get to something that I could do. And it was real hard for me to have to stick and stay at some points because I was afraid, because I'm working on straight commission. Remember, I told you our subject for today is selling, doing the hard stuff for success. And if you're going to be any kind of a salesperson, you're going to have to deal with this thing called commission. It's hard to be on commission, especially if you're a new salesperson or going from sales job to sales job or trying to figure out where your niche is in sales. And sometimes you can get frustrated, and it's the hard stuff, sticking and staying. Sometimes sticking and staying through all the storms that come in your life, having to deal with these jobs sometimes where at first you're not making any money. You're like, golly, what am I going to do? I got to pay my bills. Sticking and staying. A lot of times when you look at a lot of these companies, these people that are doing real good, they didn't do it real great in the first year. They got better and better, and 2, 3, 4 years from now, they're making a real bank, baby. That's just the way it is. Selling and doing the hard stuff to be successful, like I said, for me, I had to get up. I had some people teach me early on when I first got into sales about listening to motivational speakers, listening to people who can teach me the fundamentals. Because remember what I told you, a lot of times companies will give you a job and they'll teach you their basic stuff, but if you don't go outside the box and see if there's somebody out there who can give you some additional training and some additional education, you can fail in sales. I've seen it, and I'll tell you what, I've had to deal with it when I first got into sales. It's not easy. Sometimes you got to get somebody to grab you by the collar and go, it's this way, go this way. And in this regard, I know it sounds real funny, but our subject for today is selling, doing the hard stuff to be successful. So if it was me, if you're just getting into sales and if you're struggling a little bit, ask those people that are doing real good and ask them what their special sauce is, but don't ask them like that. Just ask them, hey, can you give me some enlightenment? Can you teach me? Can you help me? Now, real great salespeople, they'll be like, oh, okay. Then you got some that don't want you to know their little special sauce because they don't want you to steal their thunder. And those kind of people, well, they are what they is. And I'm one of them kind of salespeople. When I first started, I was eager. I was hungry. I was real hungry. I was actually starving because I wasn't selling as much as I thought I was at first. But then I got introduced to, like I said, motivational speakers, education. And I had this great teacher of mine. His name, oh my goodness, Dwayne Dabrowski. He was one of my managers. He says, hey, listen, guys, if you want to learn about how to be a great salesperson, come over to my house. And we all did. There was like about 7 of us. We went over to his house twice a week. We'd sit down and he'd play these cassette tapes. Yeah, this is real back in the dinosaur days, back in the 80s. But that was real good stuff. It was like listening to Tom Hopkins, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, teach you the basics and the fundamentals on how to ask questions, how to close sales, how to set appointments, how to just sell something. And man, I'll tell you what, I just got on fire. And from that point on, I didn't know, many years later, I'd be talking about this kind of subject. But it's been so good to me. And remember, our subject is doing the hard stuff to be successful. A lot of salespeople, they don't read no books. They don't, as far as in their selling field, they don't learn anything outside of their selling field about finances, how to pay bills, how to make money, how to ask questions, how to get up in front of somebody and talk to people. Because see, if you ain't never got up in front of a bunch of people, you can do it. But you got to get out there and do the hard stuff. You got to do the hard stuff. It's just like when you first get into sales. You don't know much. You might be all excited and everything, and then it's time to go sell something. Now it's time to go do the hard stuff. The hard stuff is knocking on that door. Hey, how you doing today? Introducing yourself, talking to them about your process, and then somebody say, I don't need it. Slam the door in your face. Or you call people, no, I don't want none. See, the hard stuff is picking up that phone, knocking on them doors, calling on them customers, and doing the hard stuff. Because, see, what happens is some people, they can't do the hard stuff. They think they can, but it takes a special person to be able to deal with somebody who's going to give you a lot of objections. You know, some of the hard stuff that you got to deal with is overcoming those objections. And how do you do that? You study. Yeah, I know. Some people don't like to have to study. Some people don't like to have to go back out there and keep reliving and learning and learning. Somebody asked me, Gary, when did you graduate? I looked down and I said, I ain't never graduated. I'm still going to school. I'm still educating myself. Because if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotting. And our subject for today is selling, doing the hard stuff to be successful. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I told you I'd tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and the warts and all. And a lot of stuff that folks don't talk about when they talking about selling. But oh, Gary Lee, we do, because I'm a real salesperson. You know, selling and doing the hard stuff. One of the hard things that you have to do is get up out that bed and go out there and start selling stuff. Because a lot of times, see, in sales, we're kind of independent. We like independent contractors. And sometimes we don't want to go because we kind of, we make up these excuses. Well, I got to shuffle these papers. I got to blah, blah, blah. And then the day goes by and you ain't sold nothing. Been there, done that. I'm just telling you, I tell myself about things that I've been a part of in selling. And selling is such a great career. You know, like I said, I've been in it since the 80s in one form or capacity. And the one thing I've had to do is do the hard stuff. I mean, the hard stuff is when, like, say, for instance, you're out there knocking on doors and you ain't selling nothing. And you're like, God dang, man, I don't know what's going on. What's wrong with me? Why ain't I selling stuff? Nothing. It's a numbers game. Doing the hard stuff, first of all, I got to give you credit. Because, see, you out there knocking on them doors. A lot of people in this world, they can't say nothing. They can't even, they can't even sell anything because, see, they don't have that oomph, that fear factor which says, I ain't worried about it. I can deal with it. I can do whatever I want. I can think straight. And listen, doing the hard stuff means that you're doing stuff that most people can't do. You know, one of the hard stuff that I had to deal with, like I said, I went back to school. I've been going to school off and on for years. I got all these licenses and these certifications so that way I can make a lot of money. And the reason why I keep studying is because, see, I have aspirations. I have goals. I want to be the best that I can be. And that's one of the things that you got to deal with when you're selling and doing the hard stuff. Doing the stuff when people say, no, I don't need no more education. I'm just fine where I'm at. Well, if you're mediocre, I guess you are. If you're a kind of person who likes for people to give you just a little bit, then so be it. But see, most of the people that are watching this video are people who are trying to be successful. They're outside of the box thinkers. They're looking to be the best they can be. And they're doing the hard things that most people don't do. A lot of people, like I say, in selling, they'll just show up and they'll say, well, how? What happens? Real hard people, they knock on them doors. They pick up them heavy phones over and over and over and over again. And it becomes easier. I didn't say it was easy. I said it becomes easier. Because, see, what happens after a while of doing the hard stuff, you get trained. You start being able to have this conversation, be able to talk to people, be able to do the things that you need to do that most salespeople, they don't do. And if you're one of the top salespeople, you've probably had to work your butt off. And what does it mean to do the hard stuff? Sometimes some people get a sales job, they only want to work 30, 40 hours a week. Well, if that's okay, you can make your money. But the hard persons, the people who make the real money, that do, they don't work by the hour. They don't even think that way. They just say, listen, this is what I got to do. This is how much money I want to make. So they don't even think that they work by the hour. I don't work by the hour. So when somebody says, hey, Gary, come see me, and it's a weeknight or weekend or a Sunday or whatever, a customer needs my help, I'm going out there to see him because I'm doing the hard stuff. I'm not pigeon-toeing myself in a little box saying, oh, I can only work 9 to 5. Well, you know what? Well, I work for customers. I work for money. And I'm going to tell you what, the only way you're going to make any money, honey, is to work hard and do the stuff that people just don't do. Call on those customers. Call those people. If they mean to you and stuff, go see them at their house. If people don't answer the phone and you got these leads, do the hard stuff. Go knock on their door. Knock on the door and say, hey, you know, I talked to you. I've just been calling. You hadn't been able to get in touch with you. You're important. I know you were interested in a particular subject. I wanted to make sure that you got your answers. And that's doing the hard stuff. And remember what I was telling you, when you got to get up in front of people and talk to people, if maybe you're wanting to be a person who does motivational speaking, I do. I've got to put myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable. See, here's the thing. Putting yourself in uncomfortable positions means you'll grow. If you're not uncomfortable right now, you need to think, well, what do I need to make myself uncomfortable? Go look for those things that stretch your mind. Like I said, I'm running school right now. I am back in school. I'm getting a real estate license. You know, I got a mortgage license, insurance license, truck driver's license. I got all kinds of licenses. And the reason why is because I'm trying to stretch myself. I'm trying to make myself more available. People want to, look, how you going to get a real good job if you only got that much information? You got to have a whole lot of information, but you got to also have great selling experience. And I got some serious experience, baby. I've gotten in front of thousands and thousands of people. I've sold a lot of stuff. I helped a lot of folks get stuff. But see, the key to success is selling, doing the hard stuff to be successful. I'm just saying, guys, if you're wanting to be successful in selling, you have to do more than the average salesperson does. You've got to learn the craft of selling. You've got to learn techniques on how to close sales. You got to have this idea in your mind, well, how do I sell better? You have to have selling conversations. You got to learn how to use your tonality, the way you talk to people, the way you act. It's a process, and it can be hard sometimes. And see, here's the thing. Some people say, well, what if you fail? Well, what if you do fail? That means you've done something that most people won't do. But you get yourself up, you pick yourself up by the collar, and you get back out there. And remember, selling, doing the hard stuff because you want success. Hard stuff means you're going to be successful. There's a whole lot of people out there that don't want to do the hard stuff. And it don't matter if they're in sales or not because, see, they're afraid. You know, that fear, false evidence appearing real. Well, it's real for those people who don't want to be successful. But if you find yourself that you want to be successful and you want to do good in your life and you want to have a better for your life, you're going to have to do the hard things. And see, what that means also is putting some money away for a rainy day. You say, what do you mean by that? Well, for me, it's like this. When I first got into sales, I sold a lot of stuff and I made a lot of money and I spent a lot of money. But see, doing the hard things mean putting money away, using your mind and go ahead and figure out other ways to make more money. A lot of times people just blow their money. They get all these nice things and stuff and then they broke. The hard thing is saving money. Oh my gosh, living within your means. That's real hard. I'm telling you what, it took me a long time to figure that one out and living within my means that, hey, by the time I'm on my late 60s and stuff, I don't want to be working off of no Social Security. I want to have me a little bit of nest egg. I want my stuff to be paid for. I want to have me a nice little comfortable way of life. Because see, a lot of people struggle all through their old age and stuff. And a lot of times people are really, really hurt and they're just hurting inside. And this is the thing, guys. We got to do our best. We got to go out there and sell something. And selling, doing the hard stuff will make us successful. You know, I'm just saying, guys, you know, I know it sounds real funny doing the hard stuff. Well, the hard stuff is showing up every morning when you don't want to go to work and doing what you don't want to do. The hard stuff is saving money when you don't want to save money and spending your money wisely in case there's hard times when you're out there selling. The hard things is getting your education so that way you can learn how to have better selling conversations. And I ain't saying you got to go to college or anything, but you can take all kinds of courses and things that can help you to to become a better salesperson. Doing those things that other people don't do makes all the difference in your selling career. It really does, and in life. And doing the hard stuff. I mean, sometimes you got to get out there and knock on them doors when it's hot as hay. You got to get out there when it's a storm. I'm right now dealing with a hurricane right now and Dorian, and it's like I've been out selling all day, but I had this mindset that I have to talk about things that are going to benefit my people out there, and you're one of my people. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. Do me a favor, go out there and sell something, but if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. Our topic for today is selling, doing the hard stuff to be successful. You can do it. I know you can. I'm doing it. So if I can do it, you can do it. And doing the hard stuff means you do more than is expected of yourself, because you can do it. So go out there and sell something. And remember, selling, doing the hard stuff for success. Yeah, it works if you work it, but you got to live it. All right.